and we are back with the Diffusion podcast. Today, we are joined by Douglas, the founder of Crypto Hub, a Web3 online community with physical hubs all over Brazil. Douglas, it is a pleasure to have you with us today. Why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your background? How did you found Crypto Hub, and what motivates you in this new phase of the Web3 space?
Amazing. Thanks, Ricky, for the invite. Yeah, it's good to be here with you guys today. Yeah, I'm a guy with background in finance, so I came from the TradFi, and I saw crypto in 2016, but I only saw it as a way to diversify your portfolio and take some risk, right? So only in 2020 that I could understood that it was about the new phase of the internet, and it could change all the business that we have in the world. And so in 2020 I went down on the I went deeper in the rabbit hole. And yes, we in the in 2021 we started a DAO, Unstable DAO, to help onboard people and others to this new phase of the internet, and also enterprises that would like to come to Web3, right? So with Unstable DAO, I was able to make a lot of network with other enterprises and blockchains protocols that wanted to join Brazil. And with this, I became ambassador of Harmony blockchain. Do you remember one? Do you remember, Ricardo?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so basically, I helped them start their operations in Brazil, in Ethereum Rio in 2022. We gave away more than, we came to give away 100 like checks for DAOs to or projects that from Brazilian founders. We were only able to give like 70, not enough projects applied to it. And with this, it started my Web3 journey. The next month, I founded the Rio Crypto Hub. So basically, it's an educational movement, community event. It's all for free. It's a non-profitable organization, so it's an amazing event with the most relevant players, blockchains, protocol, DEXs, SEXs. Everyone can join and co-create, and we have some discussions, maybe some workshops, and at the end we have an amazing happy hour with food and beverage for everyone. Sometimes we have DJs, sometimes we have like Brazilian funk or something at the end, and it it becomes like a party at the end. So that's a way for people to come out of the cave every month and meet your crypto friends, right? And we've made amazing projects already with Coca-Cola, with Planet Hemp, amazing OG rap band in Brazil. And now, last year, we started doing some projects with the government. So we've been approved in two projects. It's kind of asking grants for blockchains, right? So you need to submit a proposal. So we got two proposals approved, and now we are trying to create digital economic zones using Web3 as infrastructure to create sustainability and a more inclusive digital and economic zone for everyone, helping city and locals to grow and be able to compete globally with everyone.
Yeah, when I think about my own experience with the crypto hub, it's actually more than crypto hub. It is an actual cultural hub as well, and that's something that I usually, let's say, underestimated by the community because we have a strong set of tools and technology available already. But getting people to adopt them on the daily lives, it's another step. Of course, you can
Yes,
come up
exactly.
with all the strategies and marketing budget to force user acquisition, but if people are not inclined to use it, forget it. You do have to get people to understand, and more than that, they should feel represented by the product. I bring this mentality because I remember my last experiences that I had in Europe, I was already seeing a lot of brands like traditional brands, um, you know, going to the ground and connecting with people, like creating an experience where the users, like the buyers, the consumers, come and can actually vote on what should be the direction of the brand, which should be how the next collect, for example, the Vans shoes wear, foods wear,
Yes,
they allowed people to vote on like how the next collection should look like. And the same like this ethos is very Web3. That's something that you see in some big brands, but that's something that is already part of the Web3 ethos, especially knowing that we have so many, like for example, I'm thinking about wallets. Like what what makes one wallet different than yours? You have like Phantom, you have MetaMask, like Trust Wallet. Uh, and at the end of the
exactly.
day, like if you're not listening to your community, you're not engaged with them, you're just one more in the market, especially in a globalized market. It becomes very competitive. So in
Yeah,
that way, those experiences, they're like the biggest opportunity for brands, for startups, for products, for businesses that already have a product in the market to connect with the audience. Of course, you should know what kind of audience is there. You should know who you're reaching to. Like sometimes I see like, should I partner with that event? Like it depends. Like you have to look what kind of people are you aiming to reach in that event. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like it's just a right fit. So I think it's all about creating the right fit and making sure you understand where you're getting to connect people with real applications. So going back to the true cultural aspect of it. So now you're running the events across different parts of Brazil. Brazil is a continent, like we can say that, yeah. So you're
yes,
doing something that is like a lot of people struggle. There's a lot of good events in the industry, but sometimes they become either too niched because of the type of audience they are able to attract, or niched in the sense of the region. So you're breaking that through. So what is the importance of having, let's say, physical nodes spread out through one country?
amazing. Yeah, and this related with the subject that we were discussing before. Like crypto adoption isn't led by institutions, it's led by people. So the grassroots level is where real change happens, right? So people need to connect with community. In the future, in the enterprises, there will be no more clients. There only will be community. So basically, you need to find yours, and it's not only about finding yours. What what the other niche is saying about you? What does it thinks about your project? How can you upscale? Maybe reach out another audience, right? So with physical events and like Brazil, it's a continental country. It's very huge and it's very diverse, right? And we have lots of cultures and ethnies together, and so we have a major mix. And when your brand is exposed to all those cultures, you have more feedbacks. You know more fast what works and what does not. And the problem before Web3, I guess, was the governance. What will you do? What do you do with all those data? Are they interconnected? Can you see what your team is doing at the point of the scale, at the tip of your business? So with blockchain, all this is more possible. And even the funds to do this, all those events throughout Brazil with a non-profitable organization is easier because people can see clearly the impact that we are letting to those regions, and we are being bridged to blockchains and protocols that want to start their operations in Brazil. So I guess in all around the globe, all the crypto communities, they need to build places for people meet IRL because, as I said before, that's the grassroots level where real change happens, where people connect truly, where you get to know the hypes, the matters from the moment, and what people are building. Maybe you already have some tool, you already built some tool that they are in need, they are demanding. So you can build lots of Legos. The future of Web3 is modular. I have no doubt of it. And we need more people co-creating, right? So to make it happen. So like with the crypto hubs, we are a horizontal organization. We are a DAO, and anyone can join and solve our problems, right?
That's really cool. And I just love the fact that we have matured ourselves in a such short span of time, I would say. No, I remember I think the first crypto hub event that I went was in Rio and it was 2022. Wow, it's 2025 already. So we went through a lot of things, ups and downs. And of course, when we talk about ups and downs, we talk about capital influx, capital coming in, capital coming out, money coming in, money coming out. During bull runs, people get excited. During bull markets, like people get a bit more depressed and they retract a bit to work on more tangible solutions. It's a lot of learning. I think these cycles they teach you a lot as well. What worked, what didn't work. Good thing about crypto is that if you have the interest and the time, you can look through all the projects that fail and learn with them because they're all registered on blockchain. So like different from what we have today when it comes to businesses, they appear, they disappear, they go bankrupt and people forget about it. This won't happen on this space. We will learn a lot with our past mistakes. It's the way I say it, this economy they are building is like most builders, they will be millennials, but the generation will actually like heavily active on it is the Gen Z. So we're building a new economy, and that's crazy when you think about this because we are like kind of letting go of the baby boomers economical system, not just a financial. We're talking about socials, governance. So there's lot of friction going on. We know like we've been trying to create bridges no, it's not possible like all the time, but like creating convergence zones between hubs is important, especially because when it comes to like even within the same country, you have different cultures. You're having evidence like in the northeast of Brazil, southeast of Brazil, completely different culture. So it's important to have these different hubs to collect, gather feedback, translate into data and actually feed the products that will be more suitable for them. So once, like if you're an initiative, you're a startup or an investor, putting money Today we can call it a crypto hub, or we can even call it Brazil crypto hub rather than just Rio. But when you're putting money into this, you should know that you're fitting an ecosystem that is spread out, a network of decentralized social, culture, economic hubs throughout Brazil. There was a no like well, this is an amazing podcast. I wish we had more time. Probably we should be paying attention with the time. So let's go straight into the social monetary aspect of it because we are creating hubs, we're also creating small economies. So we talked before about social currencies. So how do you see this planning out? Because you have a lot of like digital organizations, but you're also bridging this with physical experience to get to a point that people are making deals with each other when it comes and say, I'm hiring you to do something for me. Like I open a business and now you're gonna work me for a gig. And that creates a necessity of also financials like in a micro level. So if you wanna touch points on that, that would be amazing as well.
Yeah, like Brazil, yeah, it's becoming a major lab for Web3 technologies, right? So we are one of the most advanced countries in the CBDC area. I guess probably the top five, even top three, I guess. And we are a perfect case study, right? Not only because of those all those events and local meetups, but because of major investment shifts, also like the first ETF, crypto ETF in the stock market was in Brazil in the 2020. Like now we had the first XRP ETF. Our CBDC is already in test by the banks between them, like for almost 2 years, I guess, already, right? And the community is also driving the narrative. So we are speaking with all those agents and showing the point of view of the Web3 culture, right? And in the CBDCs in Brazil, we are getting to a point that they understood that they won't be creating coins. Maybe they will be regulating small stable coins like synthetics CBDCs. So lots of projects or communities or even cities, states, né, they probably will have their own coin in the future. So what we are trying to do here is create those type of infrastructure so we can create those digital economic zones in a more sustainable way with less friction and helping the money to stay in those ecosystem and don't flush out like with investment. So with this, we will be opening doors for people from all over the globe to come to Brazil and invest, maybe buy and use real estate, because now in Brazil, if you are a foreigner and you want to buy some real estate property, you probably gonna took like 6 months to be able to get inside those apartment or real estate or condo. But with tokenized assets, you will be able to do this like probably in the next day, even if all those bureaucracy would take 6 months, right? But you have the access like immediately and also the liquidity. So this type of ecosystem that I guess we can now actually call them locals. So with Web3, we'll be able to elevate cities to locally, right? And they will be able not only to bring people, but also technology, money, and be bridged to other institutions and projects that want to start over. And I see that the next big crypto innovation won't come anymore from Wall Street or from the stock market or everything. It will come from those digital economic zones, from those communities. Yeah, I guess that's the next alpha for us.
Absolutely agree. And when I think about digital economic zones, they already exist. You see, I tend to look things in a not very orthodox way, but I like to bring different perspectives and how we should be looking at what exists today. So we have X, and X is a gigantic network society. If you look at like even comparing with Bitcoin, so you have the users, and they interact with each other. Some of them they even like do business. They get hired through X, but that also happened in Bitcoin. There's a lot of similarity. The difference between Bitcoin and X is that one is a like legalized centralized entity, like private, but it's still centralized as a corporation, and the other one is like decentralized, but it's still like something like X is already a gigantic leap when we look at the state that we have today. There is a big fight between big techs and the political establishment, especially. But once the big techs move forward, like the decentralized organizations like Bitcoin, will also gain traction because you start to like it's all about like slowly decentralized and not only power but also financials. So thinking about, for example, digital economic zone. So now, like on LinkedIn as well, we have the network. So people they usually do business with people in their own network, and they might never get to know a different network unless you get to know someone in that network. So the digital zones they already exist. There is like money going. When I look at like I tend to look at in a very pragmatical way. Like sometimes value and money is transacting between the same group of people. Like they might not look like they're together, but if you look at like carefully, you'll notice like it's always the same people in the same event, it's always the same people in the same projects. That's a network. That's a digital economic zone, but that's not formalized yet. In a sense, it's a very subtle. Like in Brazil, you know how it is, like networking, like quem indica, né, IQ. Like this is some sort of network, but it's like not very formal, and we don't have, how can I say, it's not very inclusive. Once you bring this to a protocol level, you allow people to join your network. You know, they pay a membership, you know, or they subscribe for something, or they become a contributor. You know, they find a different way to join. But then you join like something that is like with already like something locked in value, which grants you much more opportunities. So next step I would say is bringing this to the physical world where people can get together. You know, you can move to somewhere. You're already connected with them online, but you also want to work, for example, in the same location. Let's say they build a digital economic zone, but more like a network society that transformed into a startup society, and they became like they bought a building like WeWork, and then they have offices, they have dormitories. So you go there, you live with people there, you work with them. So that's something very interesting that I guess we're gonna see once the power of the state start to get decentralized. So thinking about this and what you're doing today, I see a lot of connections. Once again, you're kind of like you're a pioneer. You're doing a lot of things that in the future will be probably the standard, but now we are still trying to understand. Yeah. So when you think about your physical experience, where you have people from different locations to join each other. Sometimes people from one location go to another just to meet someone there. So how do you see this playing out in a structure that they start to get a governance where they get like option to vote, they get to choose where let's say the money is going, which product get funded and all. We're heading to the end of the podcast, so just want to let you know that. But feel free to get this very end to talk about the future of these hubs, but becoming more, let's say, governable in a certain sense.
Amazing, bro. Yeah. Like governance is the bigger market that is in the world. Basically, it's bigger than TradFi. It's bigger than all the stock markets combined. Uh, Governance is not only about the capital, it's about the human capital, all the resources, and how can you make them more effective? How can you make all of them do what they need to do for this ecosystem to thrive? Before Web3 and blockchains and DAO, all of this was very difficult to achieve. Basically, we needed lots of engagement, people regulating the activities, and all of this, like Satoshi says, makes the Nakamoto coefficients goes higher, right? So you have the centralization risk. You need to trust in people, and people can be corrupted. They can also get do wrong, right? The people are not always doing the right thing. Sometimes they miss, and all of this creates risks and creates errors and bring less efficiency to the ecosystem. So with these digital economic zones, we can create digital governance. And here at the crypto hubs, as you said, we are a DAO. We've been building for 3 years almost our DAO system here. So basically, you or anybody around the globe will be able to join us to get some task and do the work and receive for doing it and be part of this ecosystem. And after a while that you are co-creating with us, you will be able to submit proposals and create create new areas maybe, or maybe you're seeing something that we are doing wrong and you want to help us, so you can propose there, and you can actually uh, get some money out of it and help your city, your state, or even your country to thrive, bringing all those partners and all those infrastructure. Everything that we are doing, we are thinking about open source always. So everything is planned to be white label. So the same system that we are starting implementing in Rio, as soon that is implemented, will be multiplied by all those 7 states also. So all those teams will be able to work asynchronously and more efficiency with more efficiency. And yeah, I want to see other teams around the world proposing for us to build hubs around the globe. And yeah, we are very excited about this governance aspect. It's not an easy one, especially because of the funds, right? But with governance, it's easier to get there because it's not only about a team controlling and taking all the decisions. It's about lots of people discussing and having a consensus about what is the right decision to do now in this window of opportunity. And yeah, we had uh, lots of success doing it this way. And I guess the world needs to replicate more democratic projects like this.
Amazing. Well, I'd like to thank you, first of all, for your participation, Douglas. I see a deep connection on what we're doing is at Tools for the Commons. We do believe in the power of decentralized organizations more than autonomous. We know, like, very, like, completely realistic here. We we see more decentralized organization than autonomous. They will become autonomous once the technology is deeply ingrained into the organization. We know that's not easy, but that's something that we're looking to solve with our tools. Once again, I believe Crypto Hub is doing an amazing job. Like culturally, you have done a lot of like financial experiments as well. That's important. That is a lot of track record of successes. So I would say Crypto Hubs like I'll leave. Let's be like humble here, but top five. Let's say initiatives when it comes to digital economic zones with physical experience throughout Brazil. So it's amazing to have you as a partner and happy to support you as well. Well, we have only 3 minutes left, but I would like to for you to leave one last message. Feel free to pitch your social media as well, and then we can complete the episode.
I'm always speaking about Web3, about Brazil, about my vision also. It's very, sometimes it's very acid, but we need to think about this future that we are shaping it. And I would like to invite anyone to join a crypto hub near you. And if there isn't one, feel free to reach us out and maybe we can co-create something in your area, right? So thanks again, Ricardo. See you guys next time.